What had Zenobia gone off to do? What was more important than meeting the rebel council? Had he made a mistake, sending her to the ruins?
Probably
No.
a mistake.
He knew they could trust each other. He could trust her because she never broke her word. And she could trust him because she could see right through him. Well, she'd probably be there well before him. She at least didn't have to fight her way through rainstorms of ravens. He thought about Hypatia. Oh, she'd been an amazing rabbit. She could talk to him about comics, and talk to her son about history and battles, and talk to scholars about the ancient tomes hidden deep in the vaults of the Library of Ubar. Oh, Renato really missed her. As he came around the bend, there was Lupino, unconscious on the side of the path. And Renato could smell a familiar, sweet, smoky scent. Who? Zenobia. It had to be. She never used a combat spell when she could use drowsy gas. That meant she had the Iblis Stone. What would it do to her? She hated her father now. She'd kill him for sure. The council wouldn't mind if she killed the Emperor, but murdering her father would destroy her. He had to get to whatever ledge she was on and talk her down from it.
What's up, Smoke? Thanks for the subscription. Yeah. It's a ton. Oh, it only gave you the half, though. Oh, it's one more, right? Combat's fairly easy as long as you don't get overrun or misjudge things. Like sometimes I accidentally dash into like terrain and get stuck, and then they just pound on me.
What are you looking at? Oh, right.
How much health that took
No one.
away. Destruction.
The long stairs. So he was close to the rebel base. Nothing was on fire. So far, so good.
Nothing was on fire. How about that? Those mage-like ones will buff them, heal them, and that becomes a pain if they start doing a lot of them.
He hadn't noticed that path before. Everyone in the council chamber was dead. Zenobia stood shivering in the courtyard, drenched in blood. Why? He managed. They started arguing with me. I lost my temper and I wanted their blood. Well, not me. The stone did. Why did you take it from Lupino? I had a plan. You had a stupid plan, she said. I'm going to go kill my father now. No, you can't. You'll just take his place. You'll become worse than him. Get out of my way, or I'll kill you too.
I let her do it. This is not the ending. Neither of these are what I want. She's just gonna murder me if I do this.
Renata watched her board her ship and sail off. A few days later, the sun dimmed. A great void opened in the sky, black as the Iblastone itself. It stretched and ripped like a vast fatal womb, and a gaze black and pitiless as the sun passed through the void into the land. And so the lost god Iblis once again came into his own. And
I have to do
time
that all
stopped.
again. Make a different choice early on.
He had tried something bold and paid the price for it. What had Zenobia gone off to do? What was more important than meeting the rebel council? Had he made a mistake, sending her to the ruins? No. He knew they could trust each other.
Oh,
He could trust her because she never broke her word. And she could trust him because she could see right through him. Well, she'd probably be there well before him. She at least didn't have to fight her way through rainstorms of ravens.
I still don't think that this is right.
There was
I'll
an
make the other
engraving.
choice, but I'm sure I'm gonna die
Maximum
anyway.
capacity, 130 people.
130 people. A lot of people to fit on there.
As he came around the bend, there was Lupino, unconscious on the side of the path. And Renata could smell a familiar, sweet, smoky scent.
Smoky
Who?
scent.
Zenobia. It had to be. She never used a combat spell when she could use drowsy gas. That meant she had the Iblis stone. What would it do to her? She hated her father now. She'd kill him for sure. The council wouldn't mind if she killed the Emperor, but murdering her father would destroy her. He had
Well, it
to
does
get
make
to
me
whatever ledge she
faster.
was on and talk her down from it.
worth?
Welcome
Not
to
a total
Earth.
of corpses. It was something he'd seen in a play once.
Almost killed myself by running into those things.
These things could really use a hand.
Oh.
The long stairs. So he was close to the rebel base. Nothing was on fire. So far, so good.
Oh, 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 oh. Yes, I'll go over there in just a moment. One of the first things I did was increase my movement speed.
Everyone
and
in the
then,
council chamber was dead. Zenobia stood shivering in the courtyard, drenched in blood. Why? He
been
managed.
working on trying to
They
get.
started arguing with me. I lost my temper and I wanted their blood. Well, not me. The stone did. Why did you take it from Lupino? I had a plan. You had a stupid plan, she said. I'm going to go kill my father now. No, you can't. You'll just take his place. You'll become worse than him. Get out of my way, or I'll kill you too. You won't kill me, he said. And I won't let you kill the Emperor. Enraged, she raised the sword. You hate him too? He could sense the Iblis stone, yearning for his death. But she didn't strike. If you kill him, he'll destroy you. I know you. Shut up, she shouted, her sword trembling. I won't lose you again. Not for anything. Get away from me, she said, and he was very close. I can't lose you again. And he was in reach of her sword now. I hate him. I hate you too. I love you, he said for the very first time. And then she was weeping. He was holding her. The sword had dropped from her hand.
Oh.
He glanced at the Iblis stone. It was no longer the black of the void. It looked like coal. No, it glowed like a cinder. It was crackling, burning, crumbling into ashes. You've always loved me, haven't you? She said. She was weak. The stone had taken so much from her. Always, he said. She staggered as he helped her up. Let me take you away. Where? The island of Avalon. The sisters will heal you. He'll follow us. Then we need the Farfarer, the fastest ship in the Empire.
Love conquers all. Well, it didn't
The
conquer
Empire had seized
previously.
his ship. They'd have to take it back.
The last time I confessed my love for her, she stabbed me. So, yeah. Couple times that I've backed up Pinot, I just died. So at that point, I just didn't really trust anybody.
A portal that led right into the middle of the fleet. It was a glaring weakness in their defense.
At the beginning, those guys with shields are tough because you can't
Zenobia was in no shape
do
to
anything
fight.
to them
But he never fought so
until you
well.
throw a
He
raven
wasn't
into
fighting
them.
for money or loot or a cause. He was fighting for her. For them.
Combo.
His sword danced, his feet flew, and the ravens recoiled from his ferocity.
No buffs for you.
It was all coming back to him.
Got leveled up.
He wondered what he'd remember next.
Oh, ho, ho, ho. The closest I've been to succeeding has been going full evil.
And there it was, his beautiful skycraft, the Farfarer. They would fare very far indeed, beyond the Empire, beyond the reach of the Empire, to the mystical island of Avalon. He didn't know exactly where it was, but he knew he could find it. And they would find peace there. Second star on the right, and straight on till morning, laughed Zenobia. And they laughed together for the first time in a long time.
Let's go. E?
That had gone rather well, actually.
We're almost there. I could feel it.
There were stickers all over the platform for really hot lady foxes, with pictures, addresses, and everything.
On all of them this time. Every last bit. Get out of there. Get out of there. I can't. I gotta ignore the exploding guys. Some guys that self-explode, and I gotta get past them without accidentally clicking on the fight. Get over there. Those guys. Get away. Okay. Of course you want out. Hold on. Okay. Odd.
There was an inscription, no spitting.
Get my healing sword out so that I could heal through the whole fight, regardless
But
of
they did not
explosions.
go unnoticed. Scout ships lifted off, and the long lance of the Imperial flagship. Bernardo turned downwind to gain speed. The Raven ships could pursue, but they couldn't close. The far speaker croaked, "Return her and live!" "Go sacrifice yourself," yelled Bernardo. "Then you won't have her either." On the flagship, the Emperor was readying some arcane weapon. It couldn't be. It was the core. A devastating beam lanced out of the flagship. Bernardo zigzagged wildly to keep the Farfare out of it. Now the Raven scout ships were closing the distance, and the beam was getting closer too. Then came a blinding flash, and the air was searingly hot all around him. There was a thunderous, deafening roar. He could smell burnt oak and burnt feathers and burnt flesh. But when he could hear and see again, they were alive and unhurt, and they were alone in the sky. Zenobia embraced him. They had done it. Through luck and through love, they had won the war. "Avalon, here we come," he said as he held her arms wide in the prow of the boat and let her feel its speed. "Maybe the real Avalon is wherever we're together," she said. And so, after a bit of an argument, Bernardo and Zenobia went to one of the two Avalons, the one shrouded in mists, or the one in their hearts. But which one they went to, I'll never tell. He'd done it. He'd forged his own destiny. Well, he hadn't actually done it, but he knew what he would do. Bernardo smiled at the book. He practically wanted to kiss it. The kid's sacrifice hadn't been in vain. He'd saved the book and saved the world. Bernardo owed him and his mother so much. Bernardo lowered the mainsail and let the Farfarer shoot forward in the breeze. Second star to the right, and straight on till morning. This time, he would win.
Dun 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 dun. Let the credits roll. So, for a free game, that was better than expected. I didn't expect much from it. I did like when I kept seeing the art style in screenshots, so that kind of helped me decide to play. Things in there that I liked. I liked all the choices, but then it kind of got tedious when you had to kind of play the same stuff over and over and over again. I think I probably played through 7 or 8 times, and then that was the couple parts in there that were added on for the true story at the end. 24 cards, so you could play through it and make all the choices that many more times. I don't need to 100% it. I got the feel for it. Got what I wanted out of it. I was kind of getting tired of it towards the end. Like, I just kind of wanted to get through it. But at the beginning, it was pretty good. And I did feel, once I was able to get the extra dashes, because you only start out with 2, that made things move much faster. It does kind of have a... Like, there's 4 swords, so you have to collect all 4 swords. And then there's plenty of level ups to boost. So there's a lot there, and then combat is fairly simple, but sometimes like it's just you just get overthrown by enemies. And so I think overall I did I don't think I could have like I don't think I could do all 24 of the Destinies. I think that's too much. But I think for the 6 hours that I played, maybe 8. I don't remember exactly how many. That was good enough. We'll find out right now. Yellowstone Skirmish always active, so now I always have those. Stone and Sky Ripper.